All right, guys, got a video for you. The UK High Street is probably finished. What does it say? Where did everyone go? So I think I can. I think I have some things to say about this. It's by Goldman Unedited. So British fellow right here. I'm sure he has a lot to say about this, and I'm sure we're gonna agree on many things. But the thing that the UK is doing at the moment is basically bleeding everybody dry and destroying all private business that's not international corporations. And yeah, BlackRock is buying all the houses. Very cool, very nice. Gotta love to see it.
Where did they go? Where did all the people go that used to occupy Britain's town centres? I walked down my local high street literally this morning to buy some pet food, and
Well, I can actually tell you because nobody goes to the high street because it's vape shops and kebab shops, right? And all the useful stuff is closed. Occasionally you'll go to like a pharmacy or something, right? But yeah, most of the stuff, if you're not in a like a affluent area, then it's some shady like immigrant business mostly. Okay, I'm not saying everything, but mainly it's that nobody has money. Nobody has money to spend. Or if you do have money, then you don't have time to go to places. And plus, you can just get everything delivered like Amazon. Just get your Amazon and perpetuate the slave labor of Amazon. I've been told this that this is slave labor what they've got what they have in Amazon as evidenced by the piss bottles.
it was almost like the rapture. Literally like the rapture.
Yeah, for him probably yeah because this this guy he's British through and through and it must be really sad to witness for him, because things are going downhill and I don't think he thought that this would be happening when he was growing up. He probably had expectations of a better life and looking forward to the future. And now it's just sort of a disappointment, which is sad, just sad. But, we'll get through it, hopefully.
Apart from anything else, there were literally zero people. This is like sort of 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. Zero people walking down the high street, and this is a Saturday morning, like a ghost town. On top of that, you've got shuttered shops everywhere. You've got to let signs everywhere, takeaway wrappers from the Friday night blown in the wind. It just seems that what was once the beating heart of every town, along with the village pub, now represents basically a ghost of former Britain. I found that a scary statistic. This was from the Centre for Retail Research this year. Since 2016, over 50,000 retail stores have permanently closed in the UK. Basically,
That's crazy. 50,000. Let me know where you live and is it the same where you live? Okay. Because I want to know. I'm looking for a place to go that's not here.
this year, 1 in 3 high street units in smaller towns in the UK stand empty. Now, there are exceptions to this. I did a video in a place called Totnes recently, and that has no empty shops. So, Totnes is an exception to the rule. That one I'll probably post quite soon. But it just seems that for the most part, what's happened to the places that we used to meet, that we used to shop in, that we used to love and live for. I know people are going to be shouting when it's online, it's because of Amazon. I mean, yeah, undeniably, online has had an impact on the high street, undeniably. Amazon, eBay, Deliveroo, stores having their own e-commerce websites, of course. And online retail in that respect hasn't just disrupted the high street, it's detonated it. But equally, if you've got TK Maxx, for example, in your local town or in your city or whatever, well, TK Maxx has an online store. If you've got Sports Direct has an online store. So it's not like they've engineered their own demise by having an online outlet. That's only part of it. The bigger part of it, and the reason that e-commerce, I think, makes up now over 35% of all UK retail sales, is that you've got local councils that are making it difficult for shoppers to make the decision to shop locally.
Yeah, this is 100% true. The UK is famous for over regulating the crap out of everything. You know, the car was invented in the UK, but because of regulations, they weren't unable to scale it to be a globally produced, like, big thing. And it ended up being something that the Americans capitalized on simply because regulations just bogged the UK down. And this was like last century. And it's still not this like they've still not improved things. In fact, it's probably worse now. And I would like to say that it does have a lot to do with the overseeing authority, but also it's cheaper to have an online store, right? It's cheaper. Like, why wouldn't you do that? But even when it's cheaper, you still have a landlord. And if you commit to one thing, and if everybody's doing the thing, then the thing is going to be more expensive. So it's always better to go two routes, in my opinion, having the physical store and the online store, because then if you have an online store and a physical store, then the landlord for the physical location has less leverage over you. And the domain provider, whoever is your digital landlord, Amazon or eBay, they have less leverage because you can just go to the other place, you know?
In my local area, if I want to park my car for 30 minutes, and bearing in mind this is a multi-story car park, so it takes you about 5 minutes to get to the bottom in the lift. But if I want to park my car for 30 minutes, it's £1.50. If I want to park my car for an hour, it's £2.50. If I want to park my car all day, it's £8. £8 to park your car all day. Now, again, there are going to be people that live in London that are screaming, we pay £8 an hour to park our cars in London.
Yeah, and in the city I'm in, Glasgow, you can buy a all day round trip ticket on the train for about 750 or something like that. So yeah, it's better to walk and take the train and stuff like that. But that's not surprising to me because yeah, the governments are definitely trying to reduce the amount of cars being used, but at the same time, they're not doing anything to improve the other things. That's the common theme here. Like they will try to incentivize you with negative incentives to do what they want, but then they will do it badly and not provide a good alternative. You know what I mean?
I know you do. Of course you do. And it's horrific and it's horrendous and it shouldn't be that way. But I think London's different because London's almost its own microcosm, whereas towns and villages and small hamlets and places like
Guys, don't go to London, please. Trust me. I've been in London. I've worked in London for years, okay? London is not like nice. It's nice if you go there for like a day, okay? But if you live there, especially if you're like in like certain areas, it's really bad and you don't want to live there. And on top of that, even if you live in a bad area, you probably have to go to the center to work and everything is so freaking expensive. A pint of beer is like £7. Okay. the just one ticket, I don't know right now what it is, but trust me, bro, you do not want to pay tons of money for rats and rubbish and getting your phone stolen.
that, the councils should kind of be fostering people to want to come in. They should be making it easy and accessible and desirable for people to want to park a vehicle in their borough, to then use the shops, which then means that those shops will stay open, which means the council then generates revenue in business rates and taxes and all the other gubbins from those shops.
You know, you'd think that you would, but I don't think they have that much like economics understanding or logic, okay? And also, you know what? The council can just say, like, we're broke. And the government get this. This is a good part. The government will give them money. It's like the banks when they gamble with all of the collective money of the people who are holding their money in the bank and lose it all. The government will just give it all back, and it's your money as well. You're always paying for this crap.
Um, it seems backwards for councils to penny pinch over parking tickets and things like that and parking fees and just put double yellow lines everywhere and make it difficult when there is obviously another option, and that's just click, 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 ping, pay now, done. And I think that councils are as equally responsible, if not more so, for the decline of the high street as online shopping. Small shops can't survive soaring rents and energy bills that are four times what they are for comparable areas of Europe.
Yeah, don't even get me started on energy bills in the United Kingdom. I believe it's the most expensive bills on the continent, even though we're not even part of the continent. And the reason why is because no matter where the energy comes from, even if it's free from the sun, the price you pay is the price that it costs to create it from natural gas. Okay. Even if it's like a wind turbine, making it for free, and the wind turbine has paid for itself many moons ago, you're still gonna pay the premium rate.
Footfall actually dropped 15% between 2019 and 2024. That was according to Springboard data. Now, obviously, part of that was because of the pandemic. Nobody was going out shopping between 2019 and 2021. So a good kind of year and a half of that was written off anyway. But either way, that's a pretty bad statistic and a hideous drop in footfall. Local councils will talk about regeneration, but the reality looks more like managed decline. You've got empty shops, they're turning into betting shops, they're turning into vape stores, they're turning it.
Oh yeah, there in the UK there's so many of these betting shops because gambling isn't legal, I don't think, in the UK, but sports betting, which is somehow entirely different, is really popular apparently. And most of the time you'll find these sport betting shops in like areas which are run down or less affluent, right? And sometimes you can even find one brand on one side of the road, and on the other side of the road, exactly opposite, there's another one of the same brand. And that's kind of wild. Anyways, guys, if you want to finish watching this video, it is by the Goldman Unedited, okay? Give him a subscribe. Give me a subscribe, please. And the UK High Street is probably finished. Where did everyone go? Well, I am not going to shop anywhere. I'm not going to buy anything. Thank you very much.